Rise and shine, everybody. Oh, not really me. I've been up all day since bright and early this morning. But um, welcome. Sorry to do it to you guys. Two intros tonight, two outros to go through all of it. But there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about now that I really don't want to. I don't want to wait and do it before Kings. I'd rather do it now, so then that way Kings is just Kings. Um, but it will be two completely separate intros. It is what it is. I got a couple of things I want to talk about. Um, One, I don't know how many of you people actually pay attention to this or that actually come in that watch that see what me and the people that I roll with, what we go through for this on a lot of levels, man. And we did the show the other night where in the beginning of it, it was me and Jason, and we were talking about things. And the next day, if you guys haven't checked out the community page on this channel, you really should. The memes are good. The meme game is on point. Uh, but he's going to court for the Bible because of the Bible, and I'm going to court because of the Bible. And we talked about it the other night, and I may have spoken too soon. I don't think the guardian ad litem in my case anyway. Which, for those of you who don't know, guardian ad litem is a lawyer hired for the child. It's not my ex's lawyer. It's not my attorney. I have a separate attorney. She doesn't have one. But the guardian ad litem is the one who represents the child, what's best for the child. And honestly, for the last couple of months, it's just been stress, right? My family's it's always just stress. Somebody's always trying to screw us over, and so I just assume that's what's going to happen. It turns out that this guy's not as naive as I thought he was, as I thought he is. He's just not as naive as I thought he was. He's very well aware that there's two sides to this story. Um, and I've come bearing proof. I've got videos, text messages, everything a lawyer would need to say, okay, Mr. Green, clearly there's teeth here. So, and she's got nothing. And I think I may have spoke too soon. Now, I also made the comment that I was worried that my lawyer, it, it does kind of feel, hmm, I made the comment that I felt like he's representing her, right? But I may have just spoke too soon. I think I spoke too soon. I met with the Guardian ad litem guy yesterday, and he's not as naive as I thought he was. Not even close. And so I gave him the rest of the videos and stuff. We talked about a lot of things. I brought my whole all my kids with, and I did to his face. He told me he's like, Mr. Green, your kids are gonna have to leave the room, and I was like, no, 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 no. I said if you're gonna accuse me of these things, you're gonna call all my children and my wife a liar to their faces. And it just went from there. And it wasn't a bad thing. It's just this is what it is. Like it's just brutal. So that happened, and it was really good. He definitely, yeah. Oh, I'm excited. I really am. The end game. He did assure me that there's no judge on the face of this earth that's going to tell me I can't see my son. So that makes me happy. I know I will. At the very least, I'm going to get my weekends back. Um, which I mean, at the end of the day, if she would just stop interfering with my relationship with him, I wouldn't have an issue. I mean, whatever, it just is what it is. I get it. But there's a lot of problems on that side of things where and now with the Bible being involved, you know, the level of hatred from this woman is just it's unrelenting. And it's sad because she's trying to instill that same hatred into my son for me, but there's no reason for him to have it. And so I just got a lot of good news yesterday. I'm very excited. So that's good. Jason's going through the same exact shit for the same exact reason, which is it's not that I fucking mourn for him. I understand what he's going through because I've been going through it for 4 years. Ever since the day I became a believer, it's been nothing but one problem after another. And I can't say problem like it affects our peace. No, my family's at perfect peace. I'm at perfect peace. I'm not stressed even in the least, but I'm just like it's I'm to see somebody else going through the same things does my heart good. And not that I rejoice at what he's going through, but that he had the balls to step up and go through it. I mean, it's really not that hard because once you get it out of the way, once you tell somebody, hey, whoever sins is a servant of sin, if you still sin, you're of the devil. Once you show them those verses, that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. And that means showing it to everybody in your life. It's not, you cannot pull punches. You cannot hold back. You cannot softball somebody. You cannot shortchange somebody. You can't do it. You're either going to step up for the truth or you're just going to get knocked the fuck down. You're going to get bulldozed. And that's what's happening to another dude. He's just getting fucking bulldozed. And instead of preaching it, he decided to just delete all of us, which, you know, no, there's just no fucking excuse for that at the end of the day. But all good things, I thought this guy was just siding up on her, and he's not. He's absolutely not. In fact, he made mention of a few things that really irked me. My wife was right. Um, he kept mentioning over and over and over. He's like, dude, there's nobody that's going to say you can't see your son, which tells me that that's what she's pushing for, and he can see it. He can see what's going on. Um, so I thought that was just neat. I mean, that was just fucking. It was cool. And the best way, moving forward, he wants me to meet with the counselor with my son, which is good. I hope so because in that room, that's where everything will come out. Because I know what she's making. I know how my ex is. I know what she's doing to my son, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Really long story short, I'm gonna put it to you guys like this: God's got my back, and he showed up yesterday, and he's showing up in everything, and he's doing it with Jason too. Like it's just cool. It just takes, ah, it's just good shit. It's good shit. And I wanted to be able to talk about that without it being attached to the Bible study. To kind of go back on a couple of the things I said the other night, as far as where I stand looking at the attorneys from the outside, like what the fuck am I paying thousands of dollars for to my attorney to just keep bowing down to her? It should not be that way. And it's not that he's bowing down to her. It's like it's just that there should be results. And that's what we're going for. We got results yesterday. I'm excited. I mean, there's nothing. They've got nothing. I mean, I fucking 9 times in the last 4 years, I've been accused of way worse shit than this too. Horrendous things. Always proven wrong. Always bullshit. Always just YouTube sleuths and people that hate us because we preach. And it's finally all coming to a head. And after this is my excitement. Is after this, not only will I get my son, right? Not only do I get my son, but there's nothing my ex can do to me anymore. Nothing. Zero. There will be no more crying wolf. She won't be able to because there's nothing. I'm on camera 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's nothing. So next year, it's things are really going good for my family, and I cannot express to you how relieved I am through it all. I really can't. I mean, it's just all the weight off the shoulders gone. The only thing in this world that I owe, what up, Shirley? The only thing in this world that I owe is child support, and even that will be completely caught up as of February next year. Well, I can't say completely caught up, but I'll be all caught up. I will have my driver's license back next year. I could have it back tomorrow if I wanted it, and I could have got it back this year if I didn't have to pay for the lawyer to to fight for my son. But next year I'll have that back, and it's debatable. I'm going to toss up what I'm going to do about my daughter because she's old enough. She has a computer. She has a phone. She knows my channel. She knows who I am. She could talk to me if she wanted to, and she chooses not to. She told me if I ever ask her to do the Bible study again, she'll never talk to me again, which I think is just shallow and shitty on her end. Like you have the chance to get to know me. You're choosing not to, and it just everything works out the way that it's supposed to be. Romans 8:28 says all things work out to the good. All things. Here, I'll pull it up. And I do have other things. This isn't just personal period time. Just the people that know me, the people that do pay attention, the people that do go through this shit with me. I thought you guys might like to know. I got some really good news yesterday. And he knows it's bullshit. He fucking knows it's all bullshit. Oh, I'm so excited. You guys have no idea. And we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, to them who are called, to them who are the called according to his purpose. And it's a true statement. It's a true statement. It's Bible, 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 Bible. That's my whole life. Bible, 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 Bible. I don't know what I'm going to do about the whole daughter thing yet. She could talk to me if she wanted to. So at this point, and she found out the hard way that I do love her. And I think about her every day, all day. My kids are tattooed on my arm. They are what I think about all day, every day. I didn't have the money to fight for her the way I am for my son. And I got fucked over so bad on seeing her. It's just been my life's goal to make sure that doesn't happen to me with another one of my kids. And so my son is who I'm fighting for. I've been in his life his whole life. I have fought tooth and nail to be in his life his whole life. And I knew that my daughter, like I didn't have the money to do it. And every time I tried to contact my ex to see my daughter, she just had me locked up on bullshit. And there was nothing I could do. It's if I even reach out to say hi, I'm going to jail on some new bullshit accusations. So, it's what do I invest my time in? And so I put it into my son to make sure that what happened to me with my daughter doesn't happen to me with my son. And now happily married for years, and I've got Noah and Moogie, and I've got all the kids here. Like I don't have to worry about this anymore. So I'm not so sure what we're gonna do with my whole daughter thing. I kind of personally think if she really wants to talk to me, she can. She can talk to me here. I would just highly advise her to get rid of the hypocrite bullshit. I am her dad. I am not her friend. I am her dad. I am not her son. I am her dad, and I'm not going to be talked down to by a 15-year-old girl. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. That's if her mom wants to worship the ground she walks on, then that's fine. I'm not going to play that fucking game. I have a job to do as a dad, and I'm going to do my job even if it costs me being a dad, and that's Bible. It just is what it is. So I just wanted to update. And for me, really, it's just putting it on here so I have record of everything. But it was good. Yesterday was good. The meeting with the GAL went really good. He's definitely, definitely not as naive as I thought he was, and good for. I mean, that's good. Like, but he knows about the channel, and that's scary for me, right? That's scary for me. I can't say it's scary because I know what I preach is the truth. And when it comes to this channel, I don't give a fuck who you are. You can be doctor, lawyer, judge, you can be arresting officer, you can be anybody in my life. I don't give a fuck because when it comes to Bible, the Bible doesn't give a fuck who you are. So if you still sin, you are still of the devil. I don't care who you are. That makes no difference to me. But when it comes to the legalities of all this, he's not letting that interfere with his judgment. And for that, I just got to say good news and just good news. And in the end, it all works out in my favor anyway. And then she won't be able to fuck up my life ever again, which is like I don't know how to explain it to you people. I've had it all before, right? I've had the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've had the fucking suit and tie career where I was making 2-3 grand a week. I had all of it. I had the house. I had the brand new cars. I had it all. And every time I get it, this bitch would ruin my life on false accusations and bullshit charges. In America, all a woman has to do is call the police and say you hit her and you're going to jail. And this bitch did that to me like 18 fucking times. And every time that I had a house and a job and money, every time she ruined my life. And now she can't do it anymore. And for that, I would have paid 10 grand for that. I would have, you guys don't even know. So for that, I'm excited. I really am. It's coming, we're about halfway through the process, I think, with this. And at the end, I'll have my son back, without her being able to interfere. No more changing visitation dates. No more fucking. Oh, he's got somewhere else to be. No, none of that. Oh, it's just a good feeling. So moving on from that, because I know I don't have much time. Um, moving on from that, I did tell Shirley we are gonna watch or we're gonna go through Isaiah 9 while I'm up here. I do want to do that, and we are going to do that. Um, second thing, I don't know if you guys caught the interview. Everybody, if you're watching this channel, you had to have seen Passion of the Christ at some point in life, right? I saw it when I was like 17 or 18 years old. That movie broke me down to tears. To this day, I mean, it's still fucking like I watch it and I just get mad. They did that to him. They fucking did that. And the movie doesn't even portray how bad it really was. Like in the movie, he's wearing clothes on that cross. In real life, they hung him naked. you know, the movie is nowhere near as bad as what it would have been in real life. but there was an interview done with Jim Caviezel, who was the guy who played Jesus in that movie. Dude had to learn Aramaic to play Christ in that movie. Like he went through a lot to do it. You would think that this guy would have done his research. You would think that this guy would have read the Bible. No, 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 no. He did this interview a couple days ago. I'm irate, like fucking furious. This is that, like, this dude does not know shit about the Bible at all. He called the book of James First James. That movie was brutal, right? There is no book of First James. He doesn't know the Bible at all. And then he made the comment. He's like, if I had to give up my Lamborghini, I'd just be like, here you go, give it back. Motherfucker, why don't you do it? Why don't you give back the Lamborghini and give the money to the poor? Why don't you give up all the shit you have? He won't do it. And he doesn't know the Bible worth a dick. And I watched his most recent interview, and it just made me mad that people look to that dude as the guy who played Jesus, and he's a fraud. He's a fucking fraud. Just full blown, through and through, absolute fraud. It's sad. That made me mad. And I want to talk about that too. Also, coming up this Saturday, which is tomorrow, Saturday. Shit, I gotta get a schedule. I have, technically I had two, but I've only got the meme for one. But I've got a couple of wolves that I want to dissect live. You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm doing. I play the videos and break it down and show you. One is this Charles guy. I forgot his last name. He walks around telling everybody he's the sinless preacher. He said he backs down from nobody. He runs from nobody. But he ran from me the other night. Me and Paul. You guys all know Paul. He was on here the other night. Me and Paul were on the phone. Paul gave me his phone number to call him and see what's up. I asked him a few questions. He got real defensive. And then started, I went from asking him questions about it because I asked him about 1 John 3:8, and he couldn't give me a straight answer. And I'm like, well, come on, give me a straight answer. Like, I'm asking you questions about it. Give me a straight answer. He couldn't do it. So then, of course, I dropped the fucking charade and was like, listen, dude, I am the preacher and you're a fucking liar. And hit him with some scriptures. He didn't have shit. Dude ran and threw his wife under the bus. He gave the phone to his wife and made her deal with me. And she couldn't answer any of the questions either. And she got so bent out of shape and miserable about it, she hung up the phone. And so tonight, Paul called me and he's like, would you be willing to do a face-to-face with this guy on YouTube? And I was like, of course. And he asked about today. And I was like, well, I've already got the pregame. I've already got First King set. Like, I'm already doing these. But I told him, if you can get him to do it, I'll change my whole schedule. I'll go live with this guy tonight. And he's like, I'm going to call him and, call him back and see if he's ready. And I was like, he's not going to answer, bro. He's never going to show up. He ran away. He's going to keep running away. And the coolest part about this whole little story here is Paul said, like, I could hear him on the phone just sit back, and he's like, man, I'm just, what was the word he used? He said he was not mystified, but it was like, fuck, I forget the word he used. Amazed, maybe? No. Paul, what was the word you used, damn it? Something along the lines of, he's just amazed. Like, no, it wasn't intrigued. It was really close to intrigued. I forget what the word was he used. It was a good word, though. And I was like, yep. And he said he was basically just amazed at how this works. And it's always fun because the new guys, they don't expect it, right? The new guys expect that everybody's going to be willing to listen and they should be able to hold up an argument. But then they see how people run from the truth. They just run. They run. They can't hold an actual conversation. They can't acknowledge the verses. They can't accept that scripture means what it says. And then they call names and they run. That's what they do. And so it's blowing in his mind. So I said, if the guy won't do the live stream with me, I texted him too. I said, if the guy won't do the live stream with me, he won't respond to me. I said, if he won't do it with me, I'll just review the video. So plan on that tomorrow. That should be really good. And then the next one I'm going to go for is the Berean perspective. I don't know who this dude is. I've seen a couple of clips from his shit, but he's a fraud. I've from what I have heard, it's all the same shit that everybody else does. Sin, repent, repeat, garbage. So I'm going to be going for him too. and I'll probably do a couple of video reviews on him before. I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to request to meet live with him first or just do the videos. I might do a video and then request the live. I think it's probably the better way to do it. Tag him in it. That way, anytime somebody searches him, it comes up. But at the end of the day, this is what it is, people. This is, real faith uncensored on this channel. Real, raw faith uncensored on this channel. The playlist is where it's the playlist. That's where you're going to find all the different read alongs. We've got almost a whole Bible up here, just reading it verse by verse with you, going over the whole thing. We hide nothing from anybody at all. Jesus, the verse going across the bottom of the screen is John 8:34, and it says, Jesus answered them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin, period. Whoever sins is the servant of sin, and the wages of sin is death. Not the first one, the second one, the second death. The second death. So if you still sin at all in your flesh, in your spirit, your flesh can't sin unless your spirit does. First off, by the way, Brunette, you should have hit that dude Matthew 12:33 today, because that's the end all be all for those people. Oh, my body still sins, but my spirit is clean. No, buddy. The tree is either good or it's corrupt. There's no in between, ever. There never will be. There never was. There's never going to be. There's no in between. You're either in or you're out. You either believe or you don't. Matthew 12:33 would have been the hitter for that. And that's just what it is. If you still sin, you're still of the devil. Real believers cannot sin. Period. They can't. It's not possible. Jesus ended sin on the cross. That's what this entire book is about. Is Jesus taking away the sin of the world. That's why his name has been remembered for thousands of years. That's why Genesis still exists to this day, is because it's real. It's real. If Jesus got on the cross and you still sin, then he got on the cross for nothing. He got on the cross, he reconciled all things. He made you perfect on that cross the way you are. If you choose to call yourself a sinner, then you're of the fucking devil. If you choose to sin, then you're of the devil. And if you don't pick up the Bible and learn it inside and out, then you don't fucking believe it anyway. Doesn't matter who you are. I don't care if you spent a year knowing the truth. If you don't live it out, right? James said it best. James chapter 1, verse 22. Be you doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Right here. But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. You have to line up with the book. It is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2. If you don't line up with the book, then you're not of it. You're just not of it. It's very simple, and his sheep will hear his voice. He made a way for you to be perfect. Either you find it or you serve sin until you die. It's one or the other. It can't be both. And as for Isaiah, let's knock this out. Isaiah chapter 9. It's for you, Shirley. You ask me questions about it. I like Isaiah 9 a lot. But here it is. So nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as was in her vexation, when at the first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterward did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea beyond Jordan and in Galilee of the nations. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. There thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. There's the kicker. So you know the verse where he says, who has appeared unto all men. Let's see. Hath appeared unto all men. Titus 2:11. Oh, I should have known it because I just read Titus last night. Titus 2:11. King James. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation has appeared to all men. It has appeared to everybody. Everybody, every human being walking this earth at some point has had the option to choose Christ. And they choose not to. And that's where they screwed up. Here. The people that walk in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shined. Thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. They joy before thee according as the joy in harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. For thou hast broken the yoke of his burden and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian. For every battle of the warrior, and this is right here, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and that's what you see going on in the world, right? Everybody's fighting, they don't even know why they're fighting. And garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. This, what's coming, shall be with burning and fuel of fire. What's really neat about this one is that verse in Luke. Ooh, what will I? 12:49. That's the one. Luke 12:49. Right there. Jesus said, I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it be already kindled? That's your job. That's our job. That's as believers, that's our job, is to kindle that fire. And the only way to do that is to preach the gospel. It pisses off everybody. We offend everybody. They hate us because we're the people that walk around with shirts that say, whoever sins is of the devil. I wore that shit yesterday too to the Guardian ad Litem meeting. It doesn't matter. It's for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Now, this is where he's talking about Jesus here. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God. Old Testament, calling Jesus God, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace shall there be no end, upon the throne of David, upon his kingdom, to order it. This is that 1,000-year reign, and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth forever. The seal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. This is all. It's after that. It's like in order. The destruction, then you've got him. Boom. The government's going to be on his shoulders. The Lord sent a word into Jacob, and it hath lighted upon Israel. What do you think that word to Jacob was? Gospel. And all the people shall know, even Ephraim and the inhabitant of Samaria, that say in the pride and stoutness of heart. Look at, pay attention to that right there. And all the people shall know. Why are they going to know? Because they're all going to watch him take his 144,000. And then when they all come back, it's over. I mean, they're just fucked. They're fucked. Beyond fucked. And all the people shall know, even Ephraim and the inhabitant of Samaria, that say in the pride and stoutness of heart. The bricks are fallen down, but we build with hewn stones. The sycamores are cut down, but we will change them into cedars. Therefore, the Lord shall set up adversaries of resin against him and join his enemies together. The Syrians before and the Philistines behind, and they shall devour Israel with open mouth. That's what's coming for them. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. For the people turneth not unto him that smiteth them, neither do they seek the Lord of hosts. That's what you're watching. You're watching this play out in the world right now. They won't turn to him. None of them. All the sinners. Look at fucking Nick. He lost a finger. He still won't listen to the Bible. For the people turneth not unto him that smiteth them, neither do they seek the Lord of hosts. Therefore, the Lord will cut off from Israel head and tail, branch and rush in one day. Yep. The ancient and honorable, he is the head, and the prophet that teacheth lies, he is the tail. False prophet, right? You got the beast and a false prophet. There's your Daniel chapter 9, or 10 or 11, wherever it is. For the elders of this people cause them to error, and they that are led of them are destroyed. For the leaders of this people cause them to error. That's what's going on in the world. Even Trump, all of them. That's what the world leaders are doing. They're causing people to error. They don't give a shit if you sin or not. They don't care. They're like, fuck yeah, put up your rainbow flags and all this shit. They don't care. They're causing them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Therefore, the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For every one is a hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. For wickedness burneth as fire, it shall devour the briars and thorns. This, Hebrews chapter 6, verse 8, right here. So you understand that it's not talking about believers, it's talking about unbelievers. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 8, right here. But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected. The ones who bear thorns and briars, the ones who still sin, the ones who don't line up with the book, the ones who speak lies and hypocrisy. But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected and is near unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. So right here he tells you, for wickedness burneth as a fire, it shall devour the briars and the thorns. That which beareth thorns and briars shall be rejected. It's right there. And shall kindle in the thickets of the forest, and they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. And he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. That's what it's going to come to for them. Manasseh, Ephraim, Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. We should be there when all this is going on. But nonetheless, you can see it. It's definitely about Jesus. You've got the wicked, but then you've got Jesus where he takes the 144,000, and you've got like 3.5 years of this world going to shit without us here, and then we come back with him and just it's ours. And then it's 1,000-year reign, and then it's Megiddo where the whole world comes up against the 144,000, and it just doesn't. They don't win. They're never going to win. The sinners, they're going to lose. Every single one of them. And there's not a fucking thing they can do about it except repent. And they choose not to. They think that a chapter a day is going to keep the devil away while they're still serving sin. It just doesn't work that way. So 2 minutes, I'll be live for Kings, second half to First Kings. And I just hope you guys are having a good week. I hope your week is going as good as mine. Bring your Bibles.